Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update. So it was an interesting week this week in Halton Hills, and I think there could be a few trends emerging. So let's take a look at what happened. In Georgetown last week, we had 11 sales, which is bang on where it has been like the last 6 weeks. 11, 12 sales. It seems like that is our number. It means the market is not dead, but it definitely is not like a super busy, strong number. We're kind of in an in-between right now. We only had 14 new listings, which, I mean, it's still a lot, but in comparison, we were seeing higher numbers on a week-to-week basis. So it could be the start of, new listings slowing down. So that is going to be one of the trends that we're looking for. Are we seeing less listings hitting the market week to week? In Acton this week, we had 2 sales and 6 new listings. So not slowing down in terms of new listings in Acton. Poor Acton, there are so many houses there. Glen Williams had no sales and 1 new listing. Limehouse had no sales and no new listings. And the rural market saw 1 sale and 2 new listings. And then looking at the properties that I kind of look at that terminate and change their price and all of that stuff. This week, we had 24 properties that either came off the market or adjusted their pricing. Of that 24, 15 properties reduced their price. So they relisted at a lower price. That is a very high number, and that is something we are going to be watching very closely. Seeing that level of, seeing 15 houses adjust their price downward in a week is something I don't know that we've seen since the fall, and it's not a good sign. Overall, it's just a sign that things are slowing down. It's going to be something we watch. Last week we had 5 properties that did it. This week we had 15. So I don't know, the inventory is rising, things might be slower out there, but quite a lot of properties reduced their price last week. We did have 7 properties come off the market, which is a pretty high number too, showing they're just not getting what they want, so they're abandoning ship here. And then we had 2 properties that relisted at the same price. One other thing to note in this sort of section of the market update is that we had 23 new listings in total in Halton Hills last week, and only 7 of them were under $1 million. So we are still seeing the far majority of properties coming on the market in those higher ticket million plus price points, and quite a few in the 1.5 million plus. We have so many listings over 1.5 million, it's crazy. So we still are feeling somewhat soft under that million mark. There's no condo townhouses available. There's certain pockets where we're definitely, not saturated in inventory, but over that million plus is definitely not one of them. If you have a house over $1 million, you have a lot of competition, and that's where we're seeing most of our price reductions too. So moving on, looking at active inventory. So we officially broke into the 200s this week. We are at 201 active listings in all of Halton Hills. This is where we start to see prices soften and people coming off the market because there's a lot of available inventory. There's lots of choices, and you just need to be really attractive for buyers right now. When we're looking at Georgetown, just up slightly from 109 to 110 active listings. Georgetown's inventory is high, but it's not near the 130s and 140s that we see when the market is kind of, I'll say, bad in Georgetown. So we still have a bit of buffer room, and majority of those properties, of the 110, only 28 of them are under $1 million, and the rest of them are over $1 million. So under $1 million, you still got some movement. Over $1 million, it's going to be a tough battle from here to get pricing that you want and to get the kind of movement you're hoping for. So looking at those active price points, under 800,000 is down significantly from 11 to 7 active properties. There is not a lot available. A few weeks ago, we had quite a few of those Stuart McLaren townhouses available. Now there's only really there's 2, one sold conditional, the other one is available. But that is a very low amount of inventory under 800,000 for us. 800 to $1 million is up slightly from 20 to 21 active listings. There are quite a few properties available. Most of them are between 9 and 1 million. So under 900, there's kind of not a lot, especially in detached, but still 21 is not a huge amount of properties under $1 million. So that price point, we're still seeing movement, and it's not as saturated as our higher ones. So looking at the higher ones, million plus is up from 38 to 43 active listings. Again, not our highest we've ever seen, but 43 is quite a lot of listings. And there's so much stuff available, and it's a wide variety. So if you're wanting to spend between that 1 and 1.3 especially, I think you've got like some good negotiating room. There's some decent properties on the market. So, you know, take a gander if you have the ability to spend in that million, because there's not a lot of buyers transacting there right now. So 1.5 million plus is down slightly from 40 to 39. There's so many houses available over $1.5 million, and so many of those are over 2 million. And there are just like no buyers. So that price point is, I will say, like definitely our dead price point. We're not seeing a lot of sales, and definitely a lot of adjustments in the pricing on those higher ticket properties. Looking at Acton this week, so Acton's up from 30 to 33 active listings. Like Acton just can't catch a break. The inventory is super high there. A lot of properties are adjusting their prices in Acton, and I mean, no surprise, there's tons available, so you do have to be a little more competitive with your pricing. Glen Williams remained the same this week at 10, Limehouse remained the same at 3, and the rural market is down slightly to 45 from 46, so not a huge reduction, and the rural market is also just so saturated. I mean, we only saw one sale. 45 listings is like near, that mid 40s is the highest we've ever seen in the rural market. So we are sitting very high and no one's buying. So that's a tough place to be in as a rural seller. So that's sort of what's happening. I do think we're trending towards the market not being as strong, but that being said, we are a week away from an anticipated interest rate reduction, and that can sort of change everything. I mean, people's buying power simply goes up. Interest rates are less, they can get approved for more, so they have more buying power, and that positively impacts pricing. So it will be interesting to see where we are like a month from now. If that interest rate reduction actually happens and we go down like a quarter point, it will be interesting to see like where our inventory is. So does that mean we're going to see sellers flooding the market because they think that, you know, it's going to be a lot busier? Is that going to be buyers flooding the market? Like, I don't know what we're going to see from the interest rates. It should fuel the market in a positive way. Our prices should go up. We should start to see more buyers entering the market, which should make things busier. But I mean, time will tell. It's going to be interesting. But right now, if we look at a trend, taking away like thinking about that interest rate announcement, I do think we are trending towards prices softening a bit, our inventory continuing to rise. And this often happens in June, where we go into the summer with very high inventory, but then not a lot of people list through the summer, and we start to see things soften into September. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of trends we're seeing over the course of the next month to see how we're going to go into the summer. But I will be back next Tuesday with May's numbers to see how we did and to see if the trend that we're seeing of price reductions and inventory rising a bit is something we're going to see continue. So I'll be back next week. Have a great week, everyone.